And welcome to Assembly Update. I'm Ted Flint. Joining us today, Assemblyman Michael Novikov, who serves the 45th Assembly District, which includes Kings County. Assemblyman Novikov, good to see you.
Good to see you, Ted.
We're getting dug out finally here in upstate New York. I'm sure you had the big snows down there in New York City as well. We had 15, 20 inches up here. I think you got hit harder in the city. Give me your overall views of how the city responded to that big snowfall.
So we have approximately 10 inches of snow. I think Central Park measured 9.5, so it's
Okay.
not as bad. And I think 2016, I believe, was much worse than what we have now. However, we're unlucky with the freezing weather, which makes it nearly impossible to remove the snow. However, Ted, I like to always like to mention I'm from the Soviet Union. I'm from, when we're comparing something, we're talking about like socialism taking over New York. But now I can say I'm from the northern country. I'm from the north, so
Yep.
I know exactly how the snow was treated there. And I did a post after I saw that the city is completely failed to. Yes, they plowed the roads, but they failed to remove the snow from the intersections, from the bus stops. So I posted a short video showing, and I was in the city. I was in Manhattan for the Holocaust Remembrance Day at the UN. And I was pretty sure that Manhattan would be treated much better than the outer boroughs, but it wasn't. It was the same problem, and I did a little video and I stated that, Mr. Mayor, even during socialism, the snow was removed. I've been there. I know. I live there. I know.
Yeah,
So socialism doesn't mean that you don't have to remove the snow.
that's right. It still has to be
I
removed.
have
Yep.
to, yeah, I have to admit that Moscow did a great job removing it. I mean, listen, I understand the snow is not as often in New York City as in northern part of the world. But however, we have to be ready for it.
Yep.
We have to understand the consequences, and the major problem is with those intersections where pedestrians are trying to cross the street and they're unable to do so because it's just impossible. They have to wait on the actual road, which is a safety hazard, to cross the street. And we asked during the briefing with the city, we asked the question, why those intersections are not being cleaned by the sanitation. Ted, guess what the answer was?
What? What was that?
The answer was, because this is not our jurisdiction. The intersections should be cleaned by the businesses that are
Oh,
located
oh
on
my
those
gosh.
corners. So, and we're doing a great job giving them fines,
Yeah, yeah.
and so imagine a multi-billion-dollar building, like an office building located in the city in Manhattan, which doesn't care much about that intersection, and perhaps they're thinking that this is DSNY's job to clean it,
Hmm.
because they cleaned everything around the building, right?
Hmm.
So DSNY blames them. They don't care about $150 fine. And by the way, the longer they do not, clean this intersection from snow, the more profitable it is for DSNY. So they can, just give them unlimited fines,
Unbelievable.
which doesn't make any sense, and which doesn't help people to cross the streets at the intersections.
I would think the intersections would be the responsibility of the city, of the government. That's why
I
we pay
believe
high
so.
taxes. Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah, yeah. No, especially, yeah, taking into consideration those taxes that we pay. So it's completely failed. And again, I just don't get it. Why the city buys, like, I don't know, 700 million tons of snow of salt. I apologize.
Hmm.
That's what they said. pounds of salt, 700 million pounds of salt. That's what they said at the briefing.
Wow.
Like, why don't you use part of the salt to melt the snow at the actual intersections? Why
Right.
don't you use the snow to melt salt to melt the snow at the bus stops? And each agency is responsible for so there's no, there's no communication between those agencies, MTA, DSNY, DOT. These are like different countries,
Yeah.
different governments. They do not kind of communicate with each other what to do. So I think there should be more unity between the agencies so they can work effectively instead of blaming each other. Oh, that's not us. That's DSNY. That's not us. That's MTA. That's not us. That's DOT. Instead of blaming each other, they should make the life of New Yorkers easier during those unfortunate extreme weather events. So yes, they all can do a much better job, and I've seen it done. And we've seen another issue, another problem, Ted, that the snow is not removed. It's actually being kind of moved to the sides of the street. People cannot get their cars out of snow. Because of that, the streets cannot be cleaned. So you have to remove the snow. You have to remove the snow
Sure.
and discharge it I don't know, to the river, somewhere, somewhere out of the city. That's how it's done in northern countries. I understand that's how it's done in other countries. And there's something we can learn, perhaps from Canada, from our
Sure.
neighbor. How to remove the snow, not just move it to the sides to clean the actual streets. It
Right.
doesn't help. It helps a
No.
little, but it doesn't help in the long run. But to actually remove the snow
Yeah.
from the city. And this is, I think it's a complete failure of New York City administration in terms of removing the snow.
That is the bottom line. Let's say you mentioned Holocaust remembrance earlier at the top of the program. The UN trip you arranged for Holocaust survivors, you arranged for them to be able to attend the Holocaust remembrance ceremony at the UN. I think it was Tuesday of this week. Many of the attendees were mistreated by UN security personnel because they had the temerity to display the Israeli flag. What was your response to that?
So first of all, I'm extremely proud to bring Holocaust survivors from my district and a little beyond my district to the Holocaust Remembrance Day in the UN. We rented the whole bus, 50 plus seats bus to bring them. And thank you so much to my office who was working on it, and especially to the Eastern European Association, Eastern European Jews Association, a great organization that helped us to bring those Holocaust survivors to the UN. And yes, Ted, I wrote a letter. I wrote a formal letter to the UN security asking why people. This is United Nations. What's wrong with bringing a flag of your country to
Right.
that organization, to the United Nations? Are there any regulation prohibiting? So there are a number of questions, especially in regards to a grandson of a Holocaust survivor who was filming that situation in the security in that room where the security told what's her name? I'm trying to remember. She's a very popular blogger, very pro-Jewish, pro-Zionist. Oh, Lizzie Savitsky. So.
Okay.
She had a jacket with the Israeli flag in the back, and I think nothing is wrong with it. So when security didn't let her in this jacket, one of the grandson of a Holocaust survivors was trying to film this to just do a video on his phone.
Yeah.
Guess what? His phone was taken the video was deleted. The video and pictures were deleted, and he wasn't let in the UN to be at the ceremony.
What would the justification for that be? I wonder. I mean, what would they say?
That's exactly my question is why? What's wrong with it? So what's wrong with wearing a jacket with a flag of your country? What's wrong
Right.
with that at the United Nations? This is again United Nations.
The whole idea,
The
the
nation, the whole idea,
brotherhood
right?
of man.
Nations
Yeah.
that are united.
Did you get any
what's wrong
response?
with filming that on camera? Is it banned? Is it prohibited?
Right.
And why he wasn't welcomed to the ceremony? Okay, he filmed it. You deleted it. What next? Like, why
Right.
don't you let him do his business? So this is very concerning, and I wrote the letter to the Security Department of the United Nations. We're still waiting for the response. I'll share it with you. I'll share it with my constituents. But it is interesting that yesterday I received a private message via Facebook because I shared this letter on my Facebook page from someone. I can't call their names because just to protect them, from
Mhm.
someone who used to work in the UN, and they said that I think this person, I don't even want to say if it's he or she. This person worked there, I think, for 20 years. And this person stated that anti-Semitism is a huge issue in the UN, and including UN's administration, including UN security personnel, believe it or not. And one of my constituents, Stephanie Ben Shimol, she had a Israeli flag in her purse, in her bag. She chatted with one of the security guys, and again, it's unofficial, it's unproven because there's no recording of it. But what she said was like, he told her, if you would have a Palestinian flag, you wouldn't be having any issues.
That speaks for itself. I mean, what
So
can you say?
I'm working with that person now. I want to connect her with journalists, so he or she can privately share,
Right.
her or his experience working at the UN and feeling that anti-Semitic atmosphere there. I think this is it's unacceptable. Again, this is United Nations.
Right.
It's completely unacceptable.
That information needs.
I'll be on it. I'll be on it. Trust me. I do not have authority over UN, as you understand.
Yeah.
But UN is located in our state. It's in
New
New
York
York
City.
State. It's in New York
Yeah.
City. So I'll be on it, and I'll continue to. I'm very consistent, and
That's
in
right.
those cases, I'll try to get all the answers, and I'll keep my constituents posted, and you posted that.
I look forward to that because the American taxpayers fund about a quarter of the UN budget.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we have a doggy in that game.
Yes.
Let's this is kind of ties into that. There was a guy arrested Wednesday of this week. He deliberately rammed his car through the doors of the World Shabbat headquarters in Brooklyn, and I'll let you respond to that. And I got a follow up about the mayor.
So Chabad Lubavitch is a huge Jewish movement all over the world, and this is a historic building, and I would say it's an iconic building for the world Jewry. There's so many Chabad Lubavitch followers in my district, in New York City, and in the whole world, and not even to mention that this place was visited by numerous prime ministers, presidents, mayors. I don't know if that I don't know. I can call him an idiot. I don't know if he knew the importance of that place. I'm not sure, or he just thought it's another shul, another synagogue that he was trying to destroy with his car. And Ted, it's unbelievable. You hate Jews so much that you're ready to destroy your own car just to
It's demonic.
it is demonic, right?
Right.
Again, I mean, the new mayor can go there as many times as he wants, but this is the consequences of his rhetoric against
Right.
Jews. This is the consequences of Jew hatred. This is the consequences of the trend that, and he was one of those trendsetters, anti-Zionist, anti-Semite, anti-Israel, and anti-Jew.
Mhm.
So part of the responsibility of what's going on in the city today, and the day before that, one of the rabbis in Queens was punched in the face. So this is what this is the world we live in, it never begins with pogroms. It never begins with Holocaust. It never begins. It always begins with rhetoric. It always begins with
Right.
words.
Right. And it
So
gradually
those people
escalates.
who spread this hate, they're responsible for the consequences.
Now, I want to ask you about Mayor Mamdani. One of his first acts was to revoke some of the executive orders of his predecessor that protected Jews from these kinds of attacks.
That had extra security at
Yeah.
the houses of worship, including shuls and synagogues, and we see that was a necessity, and thanks to the previous mayor, to Mayor Adams, for building such a strong relationship with the Jewish community. And he's not Jewish. He just I mean, listen, he's not Jewish. He was a Democrat, right?
Mhm.
But I do have a respect for Mayor Adams for maintaining and understanding the needs of the Jewish community, maintaining those security measures. You don't have to be a Republican or Democrat. You don't have to be Jewish or Muslim. You just have to be someone, a person with a heart, and a person who understands that one community is in danger right now.
Mhm.
And it's not the fault of this community.
Right.
The Jewish community did nothing wrong. The Jewish community did so much for this city. It's a part of the city.
A big part. Yeah.
It's a
for
part
sure.
of this culture.
Yeah.
And we did not deserve this. Ted, we did not deserve this.
Well, we're going to follow up on this topic on the next show next week with Assemblyman Michael Novikov. If you want to get in touch with the Assemblyman, you can dial him in Brooklyn at 718-743-4078. Assemblyman Novikov, keep up the good work and keep up the fight.
Thank you,
We'll
Ted.
talk to you soon. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on Assembly Update. We will talk to you soon. I'm Ted Flint.